What is up, Go World? It's me, your boy JDZ, and I'm back at you with another Go Format video. I just wanted to do a quick spice report. We haven't done a spice report in a while. I have had conflicting scheduling issues with the Burn Queen Pui and myself. She has agreed to come back and do more. We just have to figure out a time to do it. But there was a lot of spice that happened this weekend, but some stuff I just really wanted to cover. On September the 25th, there was a large Italian tournament in Milan. It was a GGP, but it was huge. 145 people showed up. The coverage for that will be on Goat Community Italia. They have some streams there, and they're gonna be doing deck profiles there. But I just wanted to, they released the top 8 decks, and I just wanted to give you guys, I just wanted to put that up here and tell you guys what I thought about it. And you guys tell me what you think about it. So here it is, the Goat Grand Prix in Milan. Shout out to them. And all these decks can be found on the Instagram and Facebook page of Go Community Italia, and I'll link that in the description below. All right, so here it is. Here we go. Here are the top 8 decks from that event. Like I said, and I've always mentioned this. It's something about Italy and Goat format. They have always been the top tier of in-person Yu-Gi-Oh. They've pushed the boundaries of this game. They continue to innovate and do great stuff over there. So I like to cover their game. I like to watch what they're doing because a lot of their stuff can influence what we do in our game. Their metagame is a little bit different than ours. It's so funny how that happens. But some of the stuff that works here may not work there all the time. And some of the stuff that works there may not work here all the time. But it's just so interesting to see what they do and some of the concepts they come up with and try to incorporate that into our game. So here it is. So this is the top 8. I have Alessandro Longo playing Chaos Turbo. Okay, this one looks a little more standard, but as you notice, he's still on the triple Jarv Greed situation, the double Regeki break situation. He's got the main deck mind control, and he's going back to the 19 monster situation. Playing no Tsukiyomi. I think, in my opinion, again, I'm not the best Chaos Turbo player, but from the Chaos Turbo matches I've seen on stream or seen live, Tsukiyomi is just proven their merit in this game. You got to play. I see they got the Tsukiyomi stashed in the side deck here, but I think that card is almost too good to not play. So they got the 8th place finish. Playing Chaos Turbo again. Another thing you'll notice when you see a lot of the Italian game is that you're always going to see the Karibo usually somewhere or something. They respect the OTK decks a lot more than we do in the online game. Is the Karibo is going to be there usually. The Threatening Roar, you see he's got that here. He's got the double Trap Dust Shoot. Cool deck. I think it's pretty standard. Chaos Turbo, very powerful. Main deck Mind Control, that could be something to look out for. I don't know myself if the metagame is just ripe enough for that. Chaos Turbo is by far and away the best deck, but having main deck Mind Control could be a liability in a lot of other matchups. So you roll that dice, try to gain your edge where you can. Shout out to you for your top 8. Alessandro Longo, keep it rocking. All right, we're going to keep moving on to number 8, or this is another number 8. I guess it was, you know how it is, for Swiss and then Top Cut. So 8-7. I don't know how you order it. Sue me. We got Felipo Casamali. I think I'm saying that right. If I'm butchering that, let me know. And they're playing Cat OTK. Okay, so this deck is very popular in Italy as well. I've seen this deck quite a few times on top tables in some of the Italian IRL events. It's a threat, and as you saw in the previous deck, that's why you got to keep the Karibo on you. You got to keep the Threatening Roar on you because this deck is very, very prominent in the Italian game. Not as much as you would think in the online game. You think it would be way more prevalent there, but it just doesn't. It doesn't get as much showing. Maybe because it is kind of a glass cannon-y kind of deck. It does kind of implode sometimes. It's not as consistent as some of the other burn strategies or other OTK strategies. So maybe that's why it doesn't get played as much. But the deck's crazy. So you got, and I've been reading some of the feedback. If you want to learn how some of these decks work, I can take the time to kind of break down the strategy and what these decks are trying to do as best as I can. Like I said, I'm not going to pretend like I'm the best player in the whole game, but I have the time available and I will do that if that's something you're more interested in. But basically, you have the Last Will, you have the Rescue Cat, you have the Giant Trinade. So if you play the Last Will, you execute the Rescue Cat, you're allowed to get a beast from your deck of level 3 or lower. You get 2 beasts. And in the Go format game, their effects are not negated. This is pre-errata Rescue Cat, so you're allowed to bring out beasts from your deck Usually follow with Giant Trinade. Usually with the last wheel, you can get another rescue cat, do it again, and then you got all these beasts. This guy's boosting them by 500, 1,000, 1,500, or whatever. You got a clear shot, and that's usually gonna wrap it up, and you kind of finish it off with a little bit of burn. Got some lock them down with the Jamos and the Pierce. The deck's crazy if you can do it well. But like I said, it will implode from time to time, and you'll just lose games without even getting a chance to play. So you roll that dice when you play this kind of deck. But kind of side, it looks like they got the side set up to do more of a standard burn aggro kind of situation. So that's kind of what you see when you deal with this deck. No duo. I think that's pretty cool too. So tell me what you guys think about this one. Felipo Kazamali, shout out to you. Good job. All right, moving on. We have Andrea Fascini. Dude, if I'm crushing this Italian, you guys got to let me know that too. Make sure you get on the like button and tell me if I'm killing this Italian. And he's playing Chaos Recruiter. Okay, so this is another deck that kind of faded off into obscurity for a while and is slowly starting to come back with the prevalence of the Warrior strategy. Okay, with the control going down, Warrior going up, Turbo going up. Recruiters kind of faded into oblivion for a while, but now they're starting to come back, especially when they're assisted with the Monarch stuff. But Andrea decides to kind of keep it more chaos, or excuse me, recruiter chaos instead of the recruiter Monarch chaos sign situation. So again, I don't know where our game is, and I don't know where this deck would fit in our game compared to the Italian game, but maybe it was well situated. Obviously, this was a huge tournament. 145 people showed up. So, and to make it to the top cut of this event is no accident. You have to actually beat people. But I think some of the choices made are a little bit interesting, like the Magical Merchant. Like, what are you trying to do? Maybe you're trying to mill to fuel the chaos stuff. Perhaps I think that could be cool. I don't really know about that. You got the creature swaps, but you really only have the 6 targets here. I don't know about that either. Maybe I don't know. Again, I don't know. Decrees, I think they're pretty cool, but if they get on you, they get on you. It is what it is. Again, you see in the side deck, they got the Karibo, they got the T-Roar. Having the Blade Knight, Roulette Barrel, just more targets for this thing. Soul Release is another interesting choice. And, I think this deck could be good, especially when you start pairing these recruiters with Monarchs. Cool deck. Cool performance, man. I think I saw this deck on stream a few times. I'm not sure, but check the stream. Again, it's going to be on the Go Community Italia YouTube page. Okay, but shout out to you, Andrea Fascini. All right, and now we're going on to Giorgio Schiano. I'm killing it, dude. I'm killing it. I know I'm killing it. Anyway, so this duelist is playing the Earth aggro strategy. So it's a lot of different. I can't sing the praises to this Italian game enough, but it's a lot of variety in the deck choices in the top. You have Chaos, you have your Cat OTK, you got your Earth aggro, you got Chaos Recruit. They're playing everything, so they're mixing it up. The metagame is very open over there. Roanoke kind of topped the Clash of Champions, playing a very similar deck. He kind of is a pioneer in terms of the Earth aggro strategy. Very aggressive deck, very get after you kind of deck. Got some dust shoots in there to kind of see the hand, make your pushes. One knock is hilarious. I mean, that's pretty funny. I think you got to play 2 knocks, maybe. I mean, Turbo just being what it is. But again, in that game, you just don't know what you're gonna get into. Final Attack Orders is a slept on card, I think, with this guy, because if you don't know, this card works in the damage step from what I understand. Again, I'm no ruling major, but if this attacks a set card and Final Attack Orders is up on the field, that set card turns to attack before you calculate the damage. So that's just free damage if you're attacking anything, and this guy can't switch to defense. So I don't know why people don't utilize that strategy a little bit more, but it is what it is. So you're not running into spies, you're not running into anything without doing immense damage. So this deck is very aggressive. It'll jump all over you super quick, and it'll get the dub skis fast. So getting to the top 8 is pretty cool. I like seeing this deck. I like this deck a lot. Maybe I should try it myself. Very cool strategy. Very cool deck. Tell me what you guys think about the Earth aggro, man. It just looks cool. And I love Goblin Attack Force. I wish I could use it a little bit more. All right, so we're going on to the top 4. Here we go. This one is Chaos Control, my favorite deck. I love this deck. It's not good to me. I don't know. I think it's just too many. It's just too many options to get a brick. You brick so hard and you lose so hard when you brick up. You lose so bad when you just get a huge brick. But I mean, it's still a cool deck. I love Metamorphosis. I love Scapegoat. But this is crazy. I mean, so they kind of went to the more aggressive side. You got some aggressive options with the Skill Dark Magician, the Abyss Soldier. I love seeing the Whale Free Willy in the main deck. You got the Two Face, so not a lot of. Oh, you got the Decoiches in the face, so not a whole bunch of setting stuff. I'm sure. I'm sure he's going to be slamming this Spirit Reaper and get some taxes. So not a whole bunch of setting. More, I think he's kind of built it to kind of be a little bit more aggressive. He's on the main deck decree, which this card I have mixed feelings about playing at main deck because what usually happens to me and to others I've seen, they'll flip the decree and then something will happen and they'll clear the rest of your defenses and now this decree is up and they just know you got nothing and they're just sending the farm. Usually, sometimes you have a couple sets. They'll play around the torrential, they'll play around the mirror force, they'll play around all this stuff. But you flip that decree, and it's just all bets are off, and they're sending the farm on you, man. So I'd be careful when you use decree. I think that card takes a little bit more finesse than we give it credit for. In the side deck, they got the one wombat, they got the Genzos in there, they got the spell counselor in there. Really respecting the reasoning gate strategy. They have the mirror forces in the side deck, so they looks like they can maybe game 2 and 3 and beyond. They can kind of dish decrees, bring in more real traps to kind of change, do a little change up on you a little bit. I think that's probably the best way to do it. But again, cool deck. I like the addition of Abyss Soldier. That might be interesting. I think that's cool. All right, the Abyss, make it happen. Okay, going on to another number 4. We have top 4. We have again another Chaos Turbo. Now this one seems to be more standard. This person seems to be following the metagame. I almost card for card what Ivan Rosito and some of the other Chaos players have been doing. The battle or the discard trap being Regeki Break here, 3 spies, 1 souk, 2 Night Assailant. This is standard. This is becoming like the new standard of Chaos Turbo as the changes have been made. Same with the side deck. I see that you got the one Ashura Priest for the goats. You have the hysterical fairy, the hysteric fairy for the burn, and just being a body. Sometimes you have the Karibo. You have the very very standard stuff, and no surprise that this deck did very well, making it to the top 4 of this event because it's a solid deck, and if you play it well, you're gonna do well. So this is a great deck to try if you're interested. The 2 Solemns, I think that's kind of falling out of favor. I think the 1 Solemn is kind of where they want to land on that because that card will kill you more times than it helps you, as people are starting to discover. But also, I think the cylinders in the side is hilarious. That is cool. I like seeing that. I like seeing the cylinders in there. Okay, moving on to second place. So this is Dan Zalug. Okay, Dan Butler, aka Ron Swanson, aka Dan Zalug. Okay, he made an entire vlog and a deck profile about this video. I'll make sure I link both of those in the description of this video. Check out his channel, see what he's doing. But he's playing his version of the Cold Wave Stein Monarch deck. I think a deck like this is the deck that still can the monarch. If someone figures out the perfect ratio of monarchs to cold wave to Cyberstein to maybe a last will or something, this can blow the whole game wide open. There is power to be had in this deck. I've seen it. I've seen it firsthand. I've been on both sides of it. This is just crazy. Like, it can just win if you can figure it out to just dial it right in the correct way. Because Cyberstein is too powerful. Cold Wave is just too powerful. Trapped all these cards together are just insane. And if you could just figure out how to do it, and he got very very close to winning this event. He traveled all the way from the UK to do so, and he just came up slightly short. In the side deck, he's got the 2 Ashura Priest for your ghosts. He's got the Genzo in there. He's got the Jowg in there, really respecting the reasoning gate stuff over there. He's got the Duo in the side. He's got the spell Fragrance in the side, and he's got some trap hate stuff. I think it's very very cool. I really like this deck a lot. So if you're trying to, if you still feel like, hey, I want to play goats, but I like to tinker, I like to build, I like to do my own stuff, try to do something with this, because this has legs. I think this can make this can shock the game. I think this is a cool deck. All right, shout out to you, Ron, for putting this together and innovating and making that happen, taking something and going on with it. Very cool. All right, and then we're going to go on to the winner playing Reasoning Gate. Okay, so this is the first, I believe, this is the first major win with a Reasoning Gate strategy of the whole season, and it just so happened to be with this deck. Okay, so looking at this deck, I mean, Reasoning Gate can just win by itself, but Francesco Sperito, Francesco Sperito kind of took it to the next level. Just make it, this deck seemed like it is just purely designed to OTK and OTK alone. Like a lot of the Reasoning Gate players, they kind of build it, then they start realizing, hey, the OTK stuff may not come as often as I would like. So let me build this thing to grind a little bit. Let me put some real traps in there sometimes. Let me put, I got my GOAT meta stuff in there. I got some Book of Moons in there, just so I can grind it out and then set up the OTK and do it later. Francesco was like, nah, I'm gonna go ahead and just make it as consistent as I can with these Jargrees and this Rush Recklessly. I'll grind where I can with these Scapegoats. I will play 2 Tune Table of Contents, which is interesting because you don't want to ever draw 2. And if you get 1, it'll just speed you along to at least 1 guaranteed certified dark monster. And then everything else is just going to be straight gas and just try to get the OTK every time. I don't know what the OTK rate was that Francesco had in this event, but I'm sure it was extremely high because this deck will catch you off guard. No one likes playing against Reasoning Gate as it is, and everyone in the top 8, if you saw, they had like they had like some type of counter to this particular deck, which doesn't happen that often. So they knew that this was a highly played deck in this event. So and Francesco seemed to navigate through all that and come out with a win. They got the 3 jars. They got the Rush Recklessly. They have, this other stuff is pretty standard here. The 2 Tune Tables, 3 Sorks. I like this monster ratio because you don't want to draw too many of your normal summons. But you don't want to not have access to any at all. So basically, if you can go ahead and get the Cannon Soldiers to your hand, the only calls they can make is 4, 5, 6, or 8. And that's a lot. That's a 50-50 to get any, or it's probably, I don't know what the numbers are to get the correct call, but it's going to be quite in the favor of the gate player at that point because there's, and then especially if they think you're on the Stein deck, which is also very popular there, they'll be calling 2 and they'll never get it right, or, whatever. So very interesting, very, very cool take. And inside they got some hate for the mirror with the spell canceller. They have the 2 level limits. They have the Swords Kill Sealing Light, which I think is another interesting play because you could just, any threats that your opponent is going to have are usually going to be, monster based. They're going to be the Last Warriors. They're going to be the spell cancelers kind of, but that won't help. They got the Jowgins. This will just put all that stuff face down and then continue to execute your plan. They have the Hollow Life Barrier to kind of stop the burn because another strategy to beat this deck is to kind of get them below that 2,000 threshold so they can't play the Dimension Fusion, and then they'll just kill you that way. But if you can maintain your life total and keep it up, you can still play that and still win. And again, they got Threat and War for the defense. So here's the deck. Shout out to you, Francesco Sperito, for getting that dub and being qualified to the Go Format World Championship. And also since this event was quite large, they had 2 invites. So Dan Zalug and Francesco Sperito will both be playing in the Go Format World Championship. So that's pretty dope. So here are the decks. Here's the spice. Tell me what you guys think. Again, I'm going to get more people in here. Maybe this is a impromptu kind of thing. I just wanted to get this out while I could, and yeah, we will be back and do it. So we'll keep it like that. But until then, make sure you guys go check out the tournament coverage on the Go Community Italia. Like I said, give them some love, and make sure you go ahead and like this video, obviously. And then if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to this channel. Help us out. We're just trying to continue to grow this game. It's something that we all want to do. But until then, I'm JDZ. I play Ghosts. Till next time, shout out to the real ones. Salute to the OGs. Peace.
This program was made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.